cold immersion, cold therapy, cold exposure.
A cold shower a day keeps the doctor away.
Cryotherapy, cold showers, ice baths. What is all the hype? And are the effects real?
I get out of here and I just feel wonderful.
I'm gonna find out myself and put it to the test. Currently, I incorporate cold exposure at home by ending my hot showers with 1 to 2 minutes of cold water. I've done cryotherapy in the past, but it's not very cost effective. On the days that I do my cold showers, I definitely feel like it wakes me up and gives me an energy boost. I'm a big fan of Wim Hof and his philosophies, so I decided to commit to 30 days of cold exposure and see how I felt. So what are some of the reasons you'd want to do this? There are multiple benefits of cold therapy, including reduced swelling and inflammation, production of mood-elevating endorphins, improved quality of sleep, and mental clarity. One of the most interesting pieces of research I found was from Dr. Huberman. Dr. Huberman is a neuroscientist who hosts the Huberman Lab podcast. On one of the episodes, he referenced a study where subjects were exposed to water that was 57.2 degrees. They had huge spikes in dopamine, 2.5 times above baseline, which is comparable to what you would see with cocaine. Except it wasn't an immediate rise and crash. It was a sustained rise in dopamine that took up to 3 hours to return back to baseline, which would explain the positive mental effects people report after exposure to cold water. Another interesting piece of research I found was from Dr. Susanna Soberg.
In Scandinavia, we put our babies outside to sleep in the prom. That is like to get more resistant to the cold, but also to increase our immune system.
She conducted a study that showed that deliberate cold exposure can increase brown fat. Brown fat is a healthy type of fat that allows you to feel warm in cold temperatures and acts as a furnace for your metabolism. All you need to get these benefits is 11 minutes of cold exposure per week. The subjects had improvements in resting metabolism, blood lipid, and insulin levels. If you're interested in learning more about the research, I'll leave a couple links down below in the description. So why am I even doing this? I'm always looking for new things to push me out of my comfort zone, and this challenge forced me to implement cold exposure on a daily basis. I love the feeling of accomplishing something challenging, and I also value taking care of my mind and body. Throughout my career as a nurse, I have witnessed how drastically different the aging process can look from person to person depending on genetic and lifestyle factors. I'm determined to do what I can to ensure that I can live a long and healthy, active lifestyle. I can't talk about cold exposure without mentioning Wim Hof. Wim Hof, also known as the Iceman, is an extreme athlete from the Netherlands. He holds many world records related to cold exposure, including climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in his shorts, swimming 58 meters under ice, and running a half marathon above the Arctic Circle barefoot. Wim Hof is convinced that what he is capable of, everyone can learn through his method, which consists of a combination of breathing, cold exposure, and mindset. Prior to my cold plunges, I'll be doing the Wim Hof breathing technique. This breathing technique increases oxygen levels and has been shown to help with mood, depression, anxiety, and mental focus. If you're interested in trying it, this is the guided video that I like to use.
In, out, into the belly, into the chest, and let go, like a wave.
The breathing technique consists of 3 cycles of 30 deep breaths. At the end of each cycle, you fully exhale and hold your breath as long as possible. Then you inhale and hold for 15 seconds and repeat for a total of 3 rounds. It is strongly advised not to do the Wim Hof method while you are in water or driving. Wim Hof also likes to visualize the cold water and do some push-ups prior to each plunge. The Pod Company sent me one of their products to try, so that's what I'll be using for this challenge. This is the iPod Pro. It was very easy to set up. It only took me a couple minutes. The iPod is an affordable option if you're looking to get started with cold plunging. It's also very portable and you can set it up indoors or outdoors. The website says it'll fit someone up to 6'9" and 300 pounds. Now, I don't personally know anyone this size, but Matt is 6'3" and 240 pounds, and he has plenty of room in the pod. If you're interested in purchasing an iPod, I do have a link down in the description where you can get $10 off your purchase. Thank you again to the Pod Company for sending me one of your products to test out in this video. Day 1 of the ice pod. I've got it at 52 degrees right now. They recommend starting at 59, but I'm gonna try to go in for 3 minutes and see how it goes. 3 minutes? No way, I think I can do a minute. This is way different than a shower. This is kind of nuts, honestly. Today is day 2 of the ice pod. Do you want to try out my ice pod? Now, it is a much warmer day than yesterday. It's almost 80 degrees today. Yesterday was like mid-60s, so the ice pod has warmed up a bit. I dumped some more ice in it, but I got it to about 60 degrees right now, so we'll see how it is. I was hoping to get it colder, but I'm gonna need to buy more ice. My goal is to stay in anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes. We'll see how it goes. Sun makes it a little easier, but man, I thought I needed it to get colder and it's still pretty cold. I had my ice pod right behind me, right over there, but that area got a lot of sun. I checked the temperature of the pod today. It was 75 degrees, way too warm, so I have now moved it right over here. This area gets more shade and it should keep it cooler. I also just drained the water in the pod so I could move it, refilled it with some hose water, and added all the ice I could find from the freezer, got it down to 52 degrees. It's day 3, I'm gonna see if I can go in for 3 minutes. So a couple things I've noticed. This is day 5. I've been sleeping really good. I've been sleeping really deep. I usually feel like I'm sleeping lighter and I'm easily woken up, but the last 5 nights and the last 5 days that I've been doing this, I've been sleeping really deep, sleeping all the way through the night. I don't know if it's coincidence or if it's the pod, if it's the cold therapy, but it's pretty cool. Something else that's been happening is, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but when I was walking out of work last week, I had a coworker tell me that I was unusually chipper. And I don't know, I just feel like all last week I was in a really good mood at work. I'm not sure if it's a coincidence, but I like what I see. On the 10th day of my challenge, I was out hiking, so I decided to take a dip in the lake. I don't know the exact temperature, but it was a high mountain alpine lake and it felt like the water was in the low to mid 50s. We have definitely had some warm summer days. Today, my ice pod is at 75 degrees, so I'm gonna drain out some of the water, put some new water in, and add my block of ice. So I accidentally overfilled the pod. I set a timer, but I still overfilled it. And it's, oh my gosh, 52 degrees. Wow, yeah, 52 feels real cold. I'm gonna try to stay in for 5 minutes. My ice pod is 58 degrees. It's just one of those days where I'm not looking forward to this. Today is a really hot day, and I have to say I'm looking forward to getting in the ice pod. $28 plus probably 2 pounds in the fridge, so 30 pounds of ice, and it's 52 degrees. Oh man, it's wow, it burns. Okay, here we go. It's hard getting in. Oh wow. All right, I can do this. Okay, here we go. Okay, wow. So I heard when you're in here, you can have warm pockets form around your body, so it's good to move around a little bit. I'm not gonna do it right now. I am gonna turn this off. I don't need to record this whole thing. Annie, are you going in the ice pod? She said no. Are you Going in the ice pod.
Yes.
Why do you want to go in the ice pod?
I don't know. Because my dad does it.
Do you know how cold it's gonna be?
Yes.
How cold is it?
Like about 60 or 50.
Okay, what do you think about the pod?
Freezing cold, but it's pretty good.
I've tried a few different methods to keep the ice pod below 60 degrees, and what I have found works the best is to freeze large blocks of ice. I got this 4-pack of storage containers at Walmart for about $12. I fill them up about halfway or a little more, and 3 containers will lower the temperature of the water about 10 to 12 degrees. Got it down to 55 with 3 ice cubes. It's not so bad, it's just the hardest part is just getting in here. Today is definitely one of those days where I feel like I could stay in here a lot longer than 5 minutes. Will I continue to do daily cold plunges after this challenge? I feel amazing every time I do a cold plunge. I notice a big difference in the quality of my sleep. I've been waking up feeling well rested and ready for the day. I also feel more optimistic about life and notice a big difference in my mental clarity. I love challenging myself, and each time I complete a cold plunge, I feel like I've accomplished something big. If you're new to cold plunging, I have a few tips for you. To get all the benefits of cold therapy, the water needs to be under 60 degrees. As you do more and more sessions, you can gradually decrease the temperature from there. The first 20 to 30 seconds of the cold plunge are the hardest, and you're gonna wanna get out. But just try to relax and push through, and it'll get easier. If you encounter headaches, one possible remedy is to submerge your head during your plunge. If you plan on doing a cold plunge around the time of your strength building workout, make sure you do it before. Cold plunging after your workout can block hypertrophy and kill your gains. A lot of people prefer to cold plunge in the morning to start their day, but I just try to fit it in whenever I can. From what I've read, after cold exposure, it's better to let your body reheat on its own versus taking a hot shower or getting into a sauna to maximize the benefits. I plan on continuing to incorporate cold therapy into my daily routine moving forward. I love the way it makes me feel, and I've noticed huge improvements physically and mentally. Let me know down in the comments if you incorporate cold exposure in your life or are planning to in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.